Hi everyone, today I wanted to do a video to teach you how to create your own custom gnome in Design Space. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Google, and as you can see I have searched for gnome clip art black and white. I'm going to go ahead and find an image that I like. I'm going to right click it and save the image as. Once I've done that, I can open up Design Space and upload that image. I will automatically default to complex when uploading an image. And then prior to cleaning up an image, if I'm uploading a black and white image, I'm going to click on Advanced Options, reduce my colors to 2, and change my tolerance to 60. And so what that does is it eliminates the fuzzy dots that you sometimes see in images uploaded from Google or Facebook groups. And so because this image is geared more towards fall and I'm trying to make geared towards Valentine's, and I'm trying to make a fall design, I'm going to go ahead and use the eraser to erase the hearts in this image. And so this heart does take a little bit of a steady hand with it being around his hands, but it's not too bad. Once I have the majority of the heart cleaned up, I'm just going to go ahead and change the size of my eraser, make it a little bit smaller, and then just clean up the bits that are close to his hands. So sometimes you can just kind of move your mouse along. Sometimes it's easier just to kind of click the eraser over that piece. So it's whatever your personal preference is. Once I'm done cleaning it up, I'm going to go ahead and I will crop out just this one gnome that I'm going to be using. And then I can go ahead and click continue. I'm going to save it as a cut image, and so it looks like I missed a few little pieces, which is fine. I can go ahead and slice those out. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to shapes, and then I'm going to select a circle. I'm going to make it just large enough to fit in between his nose and his hand. And I'm going to go ahead and hold down the shift key, select the gnome, and then click slice. I move my gnome out of the way, and I'm left with all of these extra bits that I don't need. And so just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to do the same on that piece, but you could if you wanted to. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close off my hat. And the reason being, if you try to contour, you'll see that the hat is not grayed out, which means that I won't be able to select the hat and change it to another color. So I'm going to go back to shapes. I'm going to select a circle, and then I'll just resize the circle just large enough to fit over that gap. So I like how that looks. I'm then going to go ahead and upload the leaf and the pumpkin that I had previously cleaned up in Design Space just the same way, uploaded it as a complex image, and then I went ahead and reduced my colors to 2, changed my tolerance to 60, and cleaned it up. I'm going to go ahead and resize this pumpkin. And I'm going to resize the leaf. And then I'm going to go ahead and actually turn it upside down. So once I have everything kind of how I like it, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to duplicate my pumpkin. And I will change one of them to yellow. And the back one, I'm going to go ahead and click on contour. I'm going to click on hide all contours and then X out. And you'll see what it does is it creates a silhouette of my item. I'm going to go ahead and place this one on top. I'm going to hold down my shift key. I'm going to select the silhouette pumpkin in the layers panel. I'm going to go to align and then center. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and hide this one that's yellow. And so I can go ahead and select both my gnome and my pumpkin. I'm going to click slice. And I can go ahead and move my gnome out of the way. And I'll be left with the pieces that I don't need. So I can go ahead and delete those. Then I can go ahead and I'm going to unhide that pumpkin. And I'm going to place it in between his hands. And you want to make sure that there is not a gap in between your outline of your pumpkin and your hands, or else you'll have the same effect where you won't be able to change the color of the hands. Once I have that in place, I'm going to put my little pom-pom back in place. I'm going to put my leaf back in place. And then I'm going to make sure everything is selected. And I'm going to go ahead and weld this together. And it looks like my pumpkin wasn't selected, so I'm going to go ahead and click on my gnome, hold down the shift key, select the pumpkin, and then click weld. Once I'm done, I can go ahead and I can just change this back to black. So it looks like there might be a tiny gap. I'm going to check really quick. Nope, there isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this as is. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And I'll duplicate it as many times as many colors as I want in my final products. I'm going to go ahead and click on my first gnome, click contour, and I'm going to select everything that I want to be brown. However, I want to click hide all contours first, and then I can start selecting his shoes. And the pumpkin stem. So this being a little bit smaller, if you could not click on it, you could also find it in the layers panel and click on it here as well. When you're done selecting all of the brown items, you're going to click this top box and then X out, and you'll see that you're left with just the brown items. I'm going to go ahead and take my outline, put it in place just so I can kind of see what my pumpkin looks like. When I'm done with that, I'm going to take my next layer. I'll click on contour. I'm going to click on hide all contours again. And now I'm going to select everything that I want to be green. So I'm going to click on the hat. However, I don't want this leaf to be green. So all I need to do is select the largest part of the leaf, so the outline. And because that's so small, I'm going to find it in the layers panel. And then before I leave, I want to click this top box and X out. And so now I can go ahead and change this to green. And put it in place. Then going to take my next layer. I'm going to click on contour. I'm going to click hide all contours. And once I'm done doing that, I'm going to select everything that I want to be the flesh color. So I'm going to go ahead and get his nose as well as his hands. This top box and X out. And then I can go ahead and change this. And put it in place. When I'm done with that, I'm going to take my next layer. I'm going to click contour. Click hide all contours. And now I'm going to select his beard. However, I know that I don't want the pumpkin and his hands to be gray, so I'm going to select the largest part of the outline, click the top box, and then X out. And I can go ahead and actually go back into it. So this time I'm going to go ahead and click his beard and click the largest part. So right here, and then click the outline, and I'm left with just the beard. Change that to gray. And then I'll go ahead and click on my last layer, click on contour, click hide contours. And this time I'm going to select everything that I want to be orange. So all of the little pumpkin pieces. I also want to get inside the leaf. Before I leave, I'm going to click this top box and X out, and I can go ahead and change these to orange. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and change the color of the pom-pom. However, this is connected to the outline of the gnome, so it's whatever color I change the pom-pom, it's also going to change the outline. So all I need to do is I can go ahead and go to shapes. I can go to circle, and then I'll just resize this and make this brown. If you wanted, you could also slice off this pom-pom and just stick this on top. Completely up to you, but I'm going to go ahead and change it. And then the other thing that I'll do is I will click on my brown layer while the pom-pom is selected. I'm going to hold down the shift key and just attach those. That way, whenever I go to make this, they are all on the same layer. So if you're going to be putting this on a shirt or anything that requires to be ironed on, like a canvas or anything, you can go ahead and select all of this, click flip, and then flip horizontally, and that way you don't have to worry about mirroring your images. And then from here you can just go ahead and make it. So once you click make it, you're going to go ahead and you'll see that you need to put your gray piece of vinyl first. So about 5.5 inches by about 5.5 inches. You'll load that onto your mat. If you are using heat transfer vinyl, you will want to load it upside down with the glossy like plastic facing the stickiness of the mat. And then your Cricut will cut it. So you would just click continue, and then my maker is not on right now, but you would have the drop down once it is to select your material and go ahead and cut. So hopefully this video helped you. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help. Have a good day.